All right, good morning, everyone. Here we are starting our cnPilot webinar. We're going to start with two specific case studies from two of our customers that have deployed a majority of our Cambium gear, and we'll be going into detail on what specifically they've seen, what they've enjoyed. I recommend that if any of you have any questions during the process, there's a chat window on the right side of the webinar. Feel free to type any questions you might have, and we can answer those as we go along. So without further ado, Kruno, I pass it on to you.
Thank you. Wish you welcome all attending here on this webinar. My name is Krunoslav Ivanovic. I'm a founder and CEO of company Krk Sistemi from city of Rijeka, Croatia. Can you please next slide, please? Thank you. We are wireless ISP company since 2002. And in the beginning, we started to work wireless with, if some of you remember, Lucent, Carnival, TurboCell, or Inaco equipment. In 2006, when Proxim brought on the market APs with a mesh capability, we wanted to do a test with this equipment and showed really good. So in 2007, we made with Proxim wireless equipment first free public Wi-Fi mesh network in Europe in city of Rijeka. Initially, the network had 24 mesh access points to cover the city center. In 2008, we started working with Motorola, and also if some of you remember AP Motomesh Duo was the deployment equipment. In 2010, Motorola introduced the first Wi-Fi device in the world based on 802.11n standard, 3x3 MIMO with advanced element panel technology and mesh connects routing for outdoor use. As we follow new trends, we had to try this device. That same year, 2010, after testings were made, we made also the first ever outdoor Wi-Fi installation in the world with 802.11n 3x3 MIMO equipment, and it was made in city of Bihać in Bosnia and Herzegovina. In 2011, there was a change on the market. Market conditions have changed and prices that customers paid for the equipment were no longer acceptable. We were forced to find another vendor. Then we began to work with UBNT equipment. This helped us further work because we spent less money on the equipment that worked at that time. As we grew with UBNT equipment, UBNT started to show its bad sides at higher loads, in unreliability. When Cambium started producing ePMP products, we immediately purchased the equipment because we knew that behind Cambium stands good team, great technology team, also I know from Motorola, with advanced knowledge. To date, we change all links from UBNT to ePMP products, and network is stable as rock, and even at the higher loads. With great pleasure, we heard last year that Cambium entered into the Wi-Fi market. As we knew, from Cambium comes only quality equipment. We made in 2015 first successful project with cnPilot, replacing UBNT Unify Outdoor Plus network in city of Novi Vinodolski, also Croatia. Please next slide. What is needed for connectivity? As we all know, every day is increasing number of mobile devices. Usually family, when arrives on vacation, 3 of them, they have 6 devices, tablets. So we need high performing wireless access points. But on my opinion, this technology should not cost a sum of equipment which is on the market. It should be reasonable price for high performing access points. That was missing on the market. There was a big gap just in this enterprise grade market, and this market which we as system integrator want to earn more than manufacturer of the equipment, because we deploy, we manage, we do everything. We don't want to pay licensing. So that was a challenge for us. So please next slide. So what equipment is used? Since 2015, we use Cambium cnPilot. Why? Because they filled this gap, on my opinion, filled this gap on the market. It is high expensive radios and this low, expensive, but not performing equipment. So there was really, I think, from Cambium, good place to position cnPilot. We have performance at reasonable price. So actually that was a game changer for our business. What is important, what I want to just from our experience say, beamforming is not crucial for a high-performing Wi-Fi. Crucial is band steering, airtime fairness, and design of the Wi-Fi cells. We suggest to all of engineers working with Wi-Fi, we've done a ton of tests with UBNT, MikroTik, X-Claim. They fail to perform under heavy loads. With the high cost equipment, which costs more than $1,000, it works reliable. But you know, business case sometimes suffer. So with this equipment, with UBNT, MikroTik, and X-Claim, we had unreliable connectivity. Please, next slide. So this is from deployment in the city of Novi Vinodolski. So actually you have three types of installation. On the first installation, or first on the right, we see sector from UBNT. So we had on this position, we have to cover this cell, small cell 60 degrees. Omnidirectional antenna could not achieve good data rates on this position, so we put ubiquity antenna with the outdoor plus radio. That was before EPMP 1000 hotspots came on the market. So we had good results with 20 users. So when users collect more than 20, well, then they start to suffer. So actually the performance suffer, and we couldn't solve this issue with this cost of equipment what we paid, and the customer didn't want to pay more than $1,000. So when EPMP 1000 hotspot came on the market, we just there is on the market RF Elements has adapters to put on a radio, for connectorized radio for EPMP 1000 hotspots, so it can go directly on ubiquity antennas. We had a huge improvement. We saw 60 clients connected without any issue. So it was a huge improvement, just changing the radio on the same antenna. So we didn't have to throw away this antenna. So we at the moment we are still satisfied with this. In the middle you see omnidirectional and EPMP 1000 connecting to the base station. I will tell that after on next slides. Omnidirectional is always the worst case for a Wi-Fi. So please, next slide. I will explain why. So this is just a few days ago connecting on this sector. So this is the number of clients connected on access point, and this is a screenshot from cnMaestro. So we use cnMaestro as a cloud-based solution to monitor network, but still I suggest that Cambium comes on the market with a locally installed controller, because I believe a lot of big Wi-Fi system integrators, they want to have locally, not in the cloud. Please, next slide. This is what is interesting. Every access point has spectrum analyzer. This is really good when you deploy somewhere network, Wi-Fi network. So you can see what is the noise, what is the state in the air, and also, please, next slide, you can see number of access points broadcasting on which channel. So you have everything on access point. And what is really good on cnMaestro, you can remotely run spectrum analyzer. That's really, you know, there is no device on the market at this segment, middle segment, which can give you that. But not also that, please, next slide. You can also make what is, now I'm going back to omnidirectional antenna. Omnidirectional antenna is the worst case for Wi-Fi. So actually, if you're having 360 degrees radio, you will have a lot of low data rate clients connecting and slowing down all the network. This feature inside of the unit gives you possibility to disconnect these low connected clients that makes lower performance of your Wi-Fi cell. So what I also suggest to Cambium, data rates should be also made to choose which data rate, which clients with which data rate can connect on this access point. So this is a really good feature what you implement in access point and showed really good results. Please next slide. And when you also in omnidirectional antenna, when you have with this feature, you disconnect all low connected clients. So you basically raising up performance of the access point. On auto channel feature, if you put on your access point auto channel feature, you can put on which time schedule access point on its own runs spectrum analyzer and choose the best channel. That's for system integrators who have a lot of access points, makes job easier, because access points can on its own scan spectrum and choose which channel is the best to use for access. So this is really good. I think this is the last slide. Please next. Yeah. So I'm open for all questions. I would like to get as much questions as you want to ask. So I'm at your disposal.
Thank you for that, Kruno. So far, we don't have any questions that have come up. So I again recommend people to use the chat window to ask any questions you feel necessary or any questions you have about Kruno's deployment. If not, we can also wait to the end once both presentations are done, and we can go on into more detail and specifically ask those questions as well. So Kruno, thank you so much. Now we're going to be going down to Brazil and meeting with Marcio and Yuri to see specifically a case study they did. So Yuri and Marcio, over to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Let me go through this case study we had here in Brazil this year. I believe every one of you has heard about the Carnival in Brazil. It's a big deal, big thing. And we had the chance to test our cnPilot in this crazy environment. And it was made in the city of Salvador, in the state of Bahia here in Brazil. And it has the fame of being the biggest street carnival in the world. And believe me, it's really big. Okay, so we had two spaces that we call camarote, which is what you see in this photo here. It's a covered area with a view for the street in front, where the people pass dancing, and there is also what we call the trio electrical, which is a very powerful truck in terms of sound, with a band playing Carnival on the top. And this is the craziest thing you can imagine. Okay, so the camarotes is the space you see here with that amount of people. We are talking about 5,000 people in this place. So it's again, it was a very big challenge. Okay. Our partner in this case was BR Defender. So this is the integrator. So let's go through the slides. Next slide, please. So here in the photo you see the people resting a little bit and still connected. Okay, this is also part of the structure of the camarotes. Okay. So let's understand a little bit about the project. What was expected? The client wanted full coverage for this area, for the camarotes. And there was also an outdoor space in front of the camarotes that we wanted to cover as well, to see the performance of the equipment. So for the indoors, we used the E400, the indoor unit, and for the outdoors, we used the EPMP 1000 hotspot. Okay. The idea here was to provide the connection to the people in the camarotes, so they could send their photos, communicate with their friends, whatever. And the authentication was made through Facebook. This equipment was connected to MikroTik server, and the Facebook authentication was made through this system. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the idea, as the cnPilot was delivering a very good performance, the Camalots were able to charge the Wi-Fi service from the sponsors. So this Camalots are sponsored for some companies, and they of course pay for the people to have access to the service. So that's the idea here. Okay, next slide, please. So what was used in this project? Again, I've already mentioned that, but let's take a look to the positioning and how it was developed, okay, deployed. So the idea was to cover the whole Camalot, as I said. So we used E400 for that, around 10 APs, 10 to 12 APs for each space. And the hotspots facing the street in front of the place, as you can see. So next slide, please. So the main concern about this project was the amount of people that was participating and of course connecting to the Wi-Fi system, and we didn't have much experience with the E400 nor with the hotspot, so it was a challenge for us. That was at the end a very good surprise. Okay. We had very good results, and comparing with what they had in the past, it made them very impressed with our product, with our cnPilot, because they had a good experience with the Motorola 7181. That was the equipment that had been used in these places in Carnival time. And the performance was good, but the equipment is complex, is big, and of course it's not so updated if you compare to the trends nowadays. We are moving to the cloud management. We are moving to a different spot. So still our equipment also has this advantage. Okay. And the good thing was that they already had tried Ubiquiti, which is more a low-end equipment, and they had problems because the number of the associations. As it was mentioned in the first part of the presentation, when you get to a certain number of associations with this kind of equipment, it started giving a bad performance to the users. So that was one of our concerns. So after some time, after the first day of the Carnival and the successful performance of cnPilot, our partner was very impressed and defined cnPilot as the product they're going to use from now on. Next slide, please. So again, this is a photo showing the number of people, and everyone, if you pay attention, many of them will be with their cell phones in hand, taking pictures and recording videos to send to families and friends. And this was the tonic of the whole Carnival period. Okay. Next slide, please. So here is a screenshot of the cnPilot of cnMaestro management. Okay, here on the bottom, circulated in red, you can see the number of users connected at the same time. We have at this moment here 451. And a little bit of the report shows, what the screenshot shows. You can see what kind of equipment is connected to the network. You see Intel, Samsung, Motorola, and all the brands there. This is interesting and nice to see. And some parameters we're having with each of the equipment connected to the network, and many other information that can be pulled out from the cnMaestro. Next slide, please. So another screenshot with 325 people connected. Very good performance. Next slide, please. So here is what the user would face when trying to entering the system, connecting to the Wi-Fi system. So here there was a Cambium Networks session, and also the Facebook access to the system as well on your right. Next slide, please. So that's it. Yuri, any comments?
No, I don't have no comments for the presentation.
Okay.
Maybe on the DHCP server, you can talk a little bit.
Oh, that's right. That's important. One of the things we did to avoid having the same people connected all the time to the system, we defined that after 30 seconds of no use of the system, the user would be disconnected. So that was one of the things we did to control a little bit the usage of the system, and to give option to everyone to connect it. So let me go through I think we have some questions here. You're free to ask your questions. Let me go through to them right now.
Yeah, well, Marcio, we did have a question that came in. What were the users using for the Wi-Fi for? Was it more traffic for Facebook status, photo uploads, or was it just strictly surfing the internet and so forth?
No, in this case, most was for sending photos and videos, because that was the main appeal here. People wanted to show what they were enjoying in the Carnival, and most of the usage was photos and videos.
Fantastic, thank you.
Something else?
At this point, we have no further questions.
I have some questions.
Actually, we did have one come in for both. So for the Carnival, what were the max users that you guys were seeing being able to access the Wi-Fi on the network?
Yuri, please.
Eu não consegui entender muito bem.
Número de usuários máximo.
Para toda a rede, a gente estaria contando com até 2.500 por camarote, 2.500 pessoas. Por isso que a gente limitou o número de usuários no DHCP Server. A gente chegou a ter em um camarote 450 e no outro 350. Isso aí, somando tudo, a gente está dando uns 700, 800 usuários no total. conectados naqueles 30 segundos.
Naquele momento, né? Okay.
Exato.
So around 800 was the maximum we had at the same time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Marcio and Yuri, thank you so much for your questions and answering those. That was fantastic.
I have some more questions here. I think you guys are not seeing them because they're arriving to me, or maybe, but let me go through them.
Okay.
Well, first question from Ross Simmons is, are you going to say anything about the new cnPilot outdoor price and availability? I think they're talking about the E500, right?
Yeah, the E500 is being discussed internally. I believe it's going to be coming out in Q2. That will be the gate that we're looking into at the moment. Pricing, where I do not have visibility to that at the moment. But if you keep an eye on the website and the forum, we'll be able to update you that regards in that realm as well. So we'll keeping you posted on it, but it's definitely in the latter stages of the discussion.
Okay. Great, fantastic. There is one that is for KRK. Please explain why you say beamforming is not critical for high-performance Wi-Fi.
Why? Sorry, I didn't understand. Why?
Why beamforming is not critical for high-performance Wi-Fi?
Well, let's say on 90% on Wi-Fi coverage, there was a certain angle for that area, usually 30-60 degrees. When you have basically beamforming antenna is an access point with omnidirectional antenna, which steers that beam to sector. So example, you have 30 degrees sector, so this beam will be always directed to that sector. But this beamforming access points gets also noise from all around 360 degrees. And if you have directional antenna with a front-to-back isolation, good front-to-back isolation, you will achieve better data rates for this area of coverage with directional access point than through the beamforming access point. And also this beamform access points have a low gain antenna, I think 3 or 6 dB. And with directional antenna, you have more gain. So basically, you collect less noise and you also achieve better data rates. So from my experience, we tested with the Ruckus, I can say, and we achieved better data rates on a longer range or longer distance from position where access point was installed. So this is basic experience what we have.
So Kruno, to second that, what were the max users you were able to get on your Wi-Fi network?
On a single radio, during the high usage was 80. But altogether, we had all around the network, we had 200, 300 users. But this was on the beach. This sector where we put EPMP 1000 hotspot replaced UBNT Outdoor Plus. So basically Outdoor Plus, I think everybody knows, has issues with the data rates. You know, 1 megabit data rate cannot achieve nothing. Your client cannot achieve nothing. You have poor experience. And with this EPMP 1000 hotspots, we raised performance on the same antenna like was UBNT double. So I'm really satisfied at the moment with the performance what we have from Cambium.
That's fantastic to hear. What were they specifically using the Wi-Fi network for? Was it just like in Brazil where they using it for street?
No. That's a city project. They give tourists, you know, because there is a high cost of roaming data. They want to give clients free internet access, but it's limited by usage. You cannot do peer-to-peer. You cannot stream nothing. You cannot FTP, you can check mails, check web, you know, basic stuff. And it's pretty good. Viber works, so you can call through Viber and different applications which they use for communicating. Facebook is also allowed. So it's really good. They have a lot of good feedback from guests, and they return to that city because they are satisfied with the service. So it's tourist focus.
Okay, so then would you say that were there specific peak times, or was it quite variable depending on tours?
Yes. Peak time was in the morning. Break was when it was lunch, and after that it was always peak. And then falls down after 2200. So we have two peak times. Yeah. When people are on the beach, yeah, then they Facebook, they text, they take photo of their family and they put on a Facebook. So it's a lot of used by tourists, a lot. And there is no roaming cost. That's also important.
Fantastic. There's not too many beaches here in Chicago at the moment, so that sounds very nice right now. Marcio, do you guys have any other questions that you have come over by your side?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me take a look here. Okay, one question I think it was already answered. I think it's for RK as well. You said 6 clients connected. Are you talking about concurrent connections? How was the performance? I think it was already answered, right? Next question. So as the Omni seems to be a drawback, what is the solution moving forward to cover 360 degrees from every deployment?
Question for me?
Yes, Chris.
Hello? Yeah. So if you look at back my slide, so if you have omnidirectional deployment, you have to disconnect all low connected data rates clients. So basically you need this SNR, this if you go back, please. One more. Yes. Yeah. No. Forward. Too much. You went too much back. Forward. One more next. No. Okay. So this is spectrum analyzer. After this slide. Yes. So in chase roaming, you have omnidirectional deployment. And you have enabled disconnect clients with weak signal. This is because you want to raise the performance of the access point, because if you have a lot of low data rates clients connected on your access point, performance will suffer. I will not explain more why, but performance will suffer. You need to get best data rates, and the best data rates you can achieve through the signal noise ratio. So signal noise ratio, you can, on this option, you can enable it. So there is what I also suggest to Cambium to put a feature for data rates, not only signal noise ratio, but also data rates. And I believe they will do that. So this is crucial for omnidirectional deployment. So roaming SNR, this is when access point says, okay, you client have the really bad signal. I don't want you connected on my access point because my performance will suffer. And actually, through this feature, you raise performance, and all clients will be satisfied because all clients will have high data rates, and all packets sent from access point to clients will be deployed really fast, really sent really fast and get feedback from these clients. So as this is crucial for omnidirectional deployment. Also, next slide, what is also big importance for automatic channel selection of the access point. You don't want to go on you have at some point of time, you have issues with the frequency. So you have at specific time a lot of access points transmitting, receiving, a lot of traffic on the same channel as you work on. So you have to move away. And if you have hundreds of access points, you cannot connect on each access point and scan which channel is the best. So access point should work by its own to choose which channel to use. So this feature gives you, if you, let's say, you reboot access points once a day. And on startup, access point can scan the spectrum. So if you do not reboot, you have option to schedule that. At specific time, you want that all access points scan through all frequencies. You can also specify which frequency you use, but it's always it's not always, you know, people think 1.6.11, finished story. No. Sometimes you can achieve better data rates on a third channel or fifth channel. You know, that's a changing environment. Area, you know, air on an unlicensed band is always changing. So you can put periodic when no clients are connected, but usually this feature we don't use because this feature, this is always somebody connected. So actually it will not scan. Scheduled, you can schedule at which point of time you want to run this spectrum analyzer, and the access point do it by its own. You don't have to think about it. So it's crucial for omnidirectional deployment because you collect all noise 360 degrees. And I'm going back to beamforming. Beamforming is nothing else but omnidirectional directing beam, but it's still omnidirectional antenna and making it to act like sector, you know. But you in a practice, you always have one area specific where you want to make coverage of. So making good isolation, band steering, airtime fairness, you know, you are achieving better data rates than these high access points, high expensive access points. But just design. Yeah? That's it. I think I answered the question.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bruno.
You're welcome.
Marcia, do you have anything else on your end, or is that everything?
Yeah, let's keep on going because I still have more questions here. I think we have two questions going in the same direction. What was the peak number of clients using the system and the number of access points installed? So again, maximum was 800, around 800 with 20 APs. Remember, we are talking about a very high density. And next question would be, it is already available access via Facebook. I think, well, I can answer that. Not yet. We are working on that. It's on our roadmap. We see that there is a big demand for this kind of authentication, so we are working on that. Correct, guys?
All right, Marcio, thank you so much. Yuri as well. Karuna, I want to thank you for joining and telling us all of your stories and all of your experiences. I want to recommend that if anyone has any future details or any questions or stories, please share them on our social media sites from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, especially on our community forum where you can share your stories, anything that you guys would like to see specifically change or any ideas you have. We're always welcome to hearing your guys' stories and so forth. So without further ado, I want to thank everyone for joining, and everyone have a good day and a good evening.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.